Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you just joining us, my name is Vazzana and I'm the founder and author of Making It in Manhattan, as well as a style and beauty influencer based in New York City. For today's career video, we're going to be talking about how to turn your side hustle into a full-time business. So I think it's important for this video just to give you a little bit of my background. So I started my career working in magazines. I worked at Teen Vogue and then I worked at InStyle. And about 2.5 years ago, I left it all behind to become my own boss and to build my brand, Making It in Manhattan. But while I was still working at InStyle magazine, I had already started my business. So it was my little side hustle, my little engine that could, and my little baby that I, tried to lift and help rise off the ground. And for those of you watching this who also have a side hustle and who are dying to leave your full-time job, I feel you. I'm there with you. I know your pain. So we are just going to talk about how to turn that side hustle into a full-time business so that you can eventually quit that job that you hate and to follow your dreams. So let's just get started, because there is no time like the present to follow your dreams and to make it happen. The first piece of advice I'm going to give you is that you really have to dedicate as much time as possible to it. So though it's your side hustle and you're working a 9 to 5 and you're coming home and you're absolutely exhausted and you want nothing more than to lay on the couch and put your feet up, you need to dedicate as much time as possible to this side hustle if you're going to make it a reality and to potentially leave your full-time job to do this. So that means mornings, lunch breaks at work, nights when you get home, and most importantly, weekends. That is the time you need to be dedicating to this. So for me, I had started writing my book, Making It in Manhattan, which came out this past August. I'll link it down below. And I had also started my blog, Making It in Manhattan, all while still working at InStyle. So, especially for writing my book, that was a huge undertaking. And I dedicated every single free moment I could to it. I actually started writing the book on the Notes app on my iPhone because I was writing it on my commute each and every single day. So that just shows you there's time. You just need to make the time. It is possible. So it might mean, skipping out on after work happy hour drinks. It could mean missing that Sunday brunch with your girlfriends. But I promise it will be worth it in the end. And on those days where you're contemplating, ooh, do I stay home and focus on my business, or do I go out and party? You need to really ask yourself, well, how much do I really want this? Do I really, really want this? And if the answer is yes, you will make the time. I think, there's a joke that people say is like, we all have the same amount of hours in the day as Beyonce. And yes, it's a joke, but I mean, it's true. Everyone has the same amount of time in the day. If you want this to happen bad enough, you will not stop until it happens. So that's my first piece of advice. One of the best pieces of advice I can probably give you, though, is to test out the waters first before fully committing and before fully leaving your full-time job. So what that might mean is if you have a product that you're going to be selling, or obviously if you have a blog you're launching, make sure you have it launched and are actually doing it how you would be doing it if you were doing it full-time while you're still at your full-time job. Because while you still have the comfort of a full-time salary and benefits and all of that stuff, test it out. Because God forbid, you have a physical product you're selling and you start testing it out and no one wants to buy it. It just, it could just be, or say, you launch your blog, but it just needs a couple little tweaks, and right at first it's really not picking up traction. You don't want to just wash your hands and leave your full-time job without knowing, obviously there's a risk in everything. I'm not going to tell you that, you worked out all the kinks and now you quit and it's definitely going to be amazing. There's a risk with everything. I took a risk. There's always going to be a risk. But I think the more you can test out the waters and, see how your baby will do once it's afloat, I think the better, and a little bit more, it'll give you a bit more peace of mind knowing, okay, I started selling my earrings while I was still full-time and we already sold over 1,000 units and I'm not even doing it full-time in the promotions and everything. I think it'll just make you feel more confident in your project. And also, for example, if you're an influencer and you're looking to go do this full time, you should definitely be already posting and trying to build your platforms and brand while you're still full time, so that by the time you do go off on your own and do, your passion project full time, you'll already have a following, you'll already have some sort of, building blocks that will help you, just skyrocket once you start dedicating that full time. Also, I cannot stress enough how important it is to network, obviously, when you're about to go launch your side hustle full time. But with that being said, don't be afraid to talk up your business. So if you're at drinks with a bunch of people or you're invited to an after work event, don't be afraid if people ask you, so what are you up to? How's everything? To instantly tell them about your side hustle. This is your baby. This is your passion project. This is what you are fighting for. Do not be afraid to talk it up and to tell people, hey, yeah, I have, this blog that's launched. I'd love if you checked it out and let me know what you thought. Or, yeah, I'm actually, I just launched this new clothing collection. I'd, love to hear your feedback. I'd love for you to support, follow the page, trying to, hopefully one day leave my full-time job and do this as my full-time. So do not be afraid to talk it up. I think we, sometimes, especially as women, are afraid to be like, yep, I'm doing this. This is what I'm doing. And, you should support and follow. Why not? This is, your passion. This is what you're dedicating all of your time to. Might as well fight for it. Might as well brag about it a little bit. And also, no one is going to believe in your project as much as you are. You are your number one supporter. You are your number one cheerleader. If you're not going to brag about it and tell people about how freaking awesome it is, then who is? So you need to remember that. You need to not be afraid to boast and brag a little bit about your brand, because hey, that's the way more people hear about it. That's the way the word spreads more about it. And the more people that hear about it, you never know. One person that you just told, hey, yeah, I'm launching this brand, etc., they could then go home and be like, oh yeah, I actually know someone who I think could really help them. They could connect you. You just never know where, being confident in yourself and talking about what you love and your passion and everything, you never know where it can lead to. So do not be afraid to speak up and to talk about it, because I think also, once you do start to talk about it, the more of a reality it comes. When you keep it quiet and you keep it hush-hush to yourself, I think for the longest time, after I'd started writing my book, I didn't tell anyone about it. I kept it a secret. I kept it to myself because it almost didn't feel like I'd actually started writing a book, and I knew once I started telling people, it was real and I could not take it back. So I think obviously make sure you're confident in yourself and in the brand and in the product at the time, but once you start telling people, it's real. It's out there, there's no going back, and that's it. That's the time when you tell yourself, screw it, I'm going for it, this is real, this is it, this is what I want. The biggest thing I can say is we're not getting any younger. If there's something you want, you have to go for it now. You do not want to have any regrets. You do not want to look back and say, wow, I wish I had started that, side hustle. I wish I had really focused on my side hustle, and I wish that I had made it a reality. Because there's no time like the present. You gotta just dive right in, go for it, and start telling everyone about it and how amazing it is. When I first got the idea of going out on my own, I didn't just quit my job right away, and that's something that I can't stress enough to you guys, is really do the groundwork. So for me, I think I got the idea maybe about a year and a half ago before I actually made the big quit, and I just left it all behind and really, took the leap of faith. So during that time though, I always had the thought in the back of my mind, okay, I am making, I'm planning my escape plan. I'm thinking about how am I going to do this? How am I going to leave? What am I going to do? And for me, I was working at a magazine, obviously, but I was also trying to build a digital site and a digital brand for myself. So I was really able to take a lot that I was learning, such as SEO, how to form a good digital article, writing, sourcing images, just all of that. I was able to take it and really apply it to my business, to my startup. So that's another thing that I cannot stress enough, is if you're in an environment that you can potentially take some of the business skills or creative skills that you're learning there and apply them to your business, don't just up and quit right away. Give it some time. Take notes, learn as much as you can while you're there before you leave, so that you can then use it for your business. I always say, I think what helped me become successful in this industry was having worked in magazines, because it taught me so much that I would not have learned on my own. And with that also being said, in terms of staying a little bit longer, is build up a little nest egg of money. You're probably not going to just become a millionaire right away. If you do, that's incredible. Good for you. You go, girl. But for all of us other people out there who do not become millionaires right away, and it takes time and dedication, make sure you save up a little bit of money so that you do have something to fall back on. God forbid the first couple of months aren't as, you're not making as much money as you hoped you would. Make sure you have a little bit of savings. Be smart about it. Maybe save up a couple of months salary. Make sure you have your rent banked for a couple of months, just so you have a cushion to fall back on, just so you're not freaking out that you have no money and don't know what you're gonna do. So save up a little bit, dedicate all your time, network, start telling people about it, and then in the end, just go for it. I'll never forget the day that I actually walked in and decided, okay, today is the day. I am about to quit what most people would consider a dream job to pursue my dream. And it was scary. I was so scared. I cannot lie to you and say, oh yeah, I wasn't scared, whatever. But I knew in my heart and in the pit of my stomach that it was the right decision, because there was something bigger and something better out there for me, and I just had to go for it. There was like a little voice on my shoulder, a little person on my shoulder just telling me, you need to go for this. There's something more for you, etc. And finally I listened, and I'm so thankful I did. But with that being said, I took a lot of steps to build up my side hustle before I just went out on my own and quit. And I think you should too, just so that you are fully prepared and the most successful you can be for when you do go and quit that full-time job to pursue your dreams. So with that being said, do it, live your dreams, go for it, don't have any regrets. Thanks so much for tuning into this video. Good luck with all of your side hustles. I hope that you are able to all turn them into your full-time jobs. And see you again soon. Feel free to subscribe and comment below if there's any topics you want me to talk about, and I'll see you soon.